Wow, that GPO is humming. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My goodness, sorry for the delay. Of course, 10 minutes before stream time, the internet just goes off. Been delayed here for 20 minutes, and nothing I can do about it, so I do apologize for the late start. But welcome into an MD-11 stream. You guys know I love all things 3 engines, and I have been waiting for the TFDi update for quite some time. We flew this airplane multiple times in 2020. I was not impressed with what was presented at the price point. I still have lots of opinions about this airplane, some much better, some about the same. We'll get into it, but all right, here we go. One of my favorite liveries, I gotta tell you, I have an echo going on here. So, you guys know I don't like white liveries. I think they're kind of boring. For some reason, the Jaybird liveries from Japan Airlines, they just hit home. The gray stripe, the JAL, the different nuanced winglet design and stuff on here, they are really, really awesome. I believe I saw a few of these at LAX years and years ago when they stopped flying them in the early 2000s. But if you don't know about the Jaybirds, they were the first. Japan Airlines was the first airline to put massage seats in first class on their MD-11. So pretty neat little history behind the MD-11 and the Jaybird here. So that's what we're rocking. We are going to do a Kai-Tech stream next break. So I got a lot of stuff to do today. I'm already behind the 8 ball because we started out late. We had a couple days off from training. I go back into the sims tomorrow. So we'll talk all about that. So I just wanted to get one stream in here, take a little mental break from the 737, and fly something a little bit more interesting on stream. So thank you all for tuning in. We've got multiple people on the ramp. We got an MD-11 off our right. We also have a 727. There's Vodka over there. Good to see you over there. We're on Iveo steerage class today, so good to see everybody loading in. Love seeing the MD-11 over there as well. This is going to be fun. So, who's ready to rock and roll? Classic Jet Senpai, good to see you, my man. I thought we were talking Thai. Yeah, Jack Tuk Thai, very well, very well. All right, let's hop into the airplane because that GPU out there is very loud. So we're going to boot it up. I'm going to skip the shout-outs because, like I said, we're already behind the 8 ball, and I'm meeting the missus here for a little afternoon coffee, and we're going to do some stuff around 1 o'clock. So shorter flight today, but it's going to be a fun one, and I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. So first and foremost, I do have my WinWing stuff bound up here, which is pretty cool. I'll be showing you guys that for the MD-11. But let's go ahead and power up the aircraft. We'll take a listen to the sights and sounds as we get this thing booted up. So first things first, we're going to get the battery switch on. And then we're going to go into external power.
Autopilot.
I'm going to turn the thunderstorm light on so we get rid of the pilot flashlight there. One of your favorite planes? I do. So the DC-10 is one of my greater favorites. Oh, great. Who's that? Looks like we got more Iveo joiners. Ooh, 7-4. I love that livery as well. If you could just slide over one, that'd be fantastic. Great livery is there. But yeah, it's more than just sounds. But DC-10, I prefer the DC-10. I love the straight wing. But the MD-11 is, of course, one of my favorites because it is a 3-holer. But if I had to choose, I think I'd go L1011, 727, DC-10, then MD-11 if I had to rank them. But we'll talk all about this update here in a minute. Let's get this thing fired up and ready to go, and then we'll be able to sit back, chat, and sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. So let's go ahead and get the ADIRS 1 on. We should get a fire test on this. There we go. All right, now we can go ahead and get nav 2, nav 3, external power is connected. Let's go ahead and juice up some of the panel lighting here. We'll get all this turned up bright. Turn off that thunderstorm light. We'll get this light on here. We'll get this light on here. Excellent. Let's come on down here. Let's go FMC. We'll pull this sucker out. L1011 coming from INI. Cannot wait. That is probably the L1011 and 7.4 Classic from PMDG are my two most anticipated releases of all time in all things flight sim. So I'm very excited. I'm excited that we have the MD-11 in 2024 now. You guys know I actually went back to fly X-Plane 12 for a while just because I needed the MD-11. I really love the rotate. There's some things that the rotate still does really, really well. We'll get into it here on our cruise up to Tokyo, actually. but I love the old school sounds. I do have the enhanced version, or the extended version, right? So I think it's an $8 upgrade, and then or $5, and then a couple more bucks, and then like $10 or something to get the paid update, and then get the extended version if you didn't have it already. The extended version includes some maintenance items and things like that. So we'll get into all that stuff. FMS has some inconsistencies, animations missing, realistic timings, 8 cars, can't even fetch the weather. Yep, same. A bit on the dark side here, expected for almost $100. McAllen, hold that thought, my man. I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm right there with you. There's a lot of things I have questions about, and a lot of points I want to make, and you're making them. But I also want to give credit where credit is due, and they have done their work on the external modeling and texturing. One thing I'll note right now is we're just waiting for our stuff to align. You have to be careful with the liveries that you select. There's a handful of liveries on the Flight Sim TO that do not share the updated texture pack for the wings. One of the first things I did is I loaded in a livery from Flight Sim TO, and it had a very... I was not impressed by the wing. I'm like, doesn't look that much different than what we had in 2020. It looked very flat and kind of ported looking. But I was told, well, some of the old livery painters, they didn't get the updated texture files. So the official liveries on the TFDi website have all the updated textures. And then I'm pretty sure as liveries begin to get updated on Flight Sim TO, they'll be updated as well. But that does make a difference. So make sure you do have officially updated liveries. I think there can be some kind of some hiccups there. But right now, the wings do look much better. The engine model looks much better. You can definitely tell. I believe we're in 2024 standards now. I have one wing view here with no window. I do love having a little bit of window action, though, like that. The cabin is very nice. We'll go through a cabin review in flight as well. But let's go ahead and continue the overhead sweep here. So we got the 8 ears aligned. Let's go ahead and throw you into arm on the emergency exits. Let's go ahead and run the hydraulic test. We're going to set you into hydraulic. We'll throw up the hydraulic page. All right, hydraulics are going to run through their test up there. Let's get the nav lights on. Let's get the logo lights on. Everything looks good, and we could actually do a engine APU fire test. Make sure we get the lights. That looks good. Evac is armed. Nothing to change up here. Defogs are on. Window and antis are all set. Annunciator lights. You can make sure you got all your tapes and 8s. Look at that beautiful panel.
Overspeed.
Love that. Fuel use reset. We'll throw that in there. Let's come down to the flight plan and NIT page, and we're going to import our SimBrief flight plan. Now, this makes it really quick. Here's my first point. If I could be so so brash to make a suggestion, I love how they have the simplicity of loading the airplane here. So I'm going to send flight plan to FMC, and here's what I also like. Set payload and fuel. My only thing is, all right, I'm instantly loaded. Okay, I don't hate that, but I would love an option for those of us who have broken free from the GSX, and I believe it still works. It's not fully GSX integrated, but it works a little bit with GSX. If you're gonna do this, do something like Phoenix allows, where if I set fuel and payload, give me an option. Give me like a half time, like a 7-minute, and then give me a 20-minute loading time. I say real world boarding times or loading times, but it doesn't have to be exactly real world. I don't want to sit there for 45 minutes waiting unless they give you an option. But you know how Phoenix gives you the option, right? You have a estimated real-time load, and then you have an expedited load. But it gives you some time to work for something. So like right now, all I'm waiting for is for the 8 ears and ready to push back. So I think that would be a cool little add-on. If you just set fuel and payload, it says, okay, do you want to load in real time, 20 minutes, or do you want to load in 7 minutes? And then watch the stuff load in real time. I think that would be really cool if that could be added in the future. But once you do those two things, we are pretty much ready to go. And I will show you, I do have my WinWing set up here. I've got my 747 panel. Now the numbers don't line up quite right, but I do have them all bound, and it allows you to actually use your WinWing stuff to program, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and check database cycle. That's another thing. You're going to charge $100 for an airplane out of the gate. Give us the most updated nav data, at least for that last cycle. I think this one is, what's this one? Expired September 2108. So, okay, I mean, it's not that crazy out of date, but, I mean, give us at least one nav data that's up to date, All right, let's go ahead and load up this box here. We're going to be JAL Look at me, I'm already trying to use my left hand over here because I've been using my left hand in the sim. We'll talk all things training and everything. I've been having a heck of a time, guys, flying the 737, at least in training. I tell you what, I've got my opinions. I think I might have been wrong for the last 10 years of my life. I'm going to do a whole podcast on it, but I am absolutely loving training. I'm loving the 7.3, and we'll definitely talk more about that. But here we are. Let's focus on the MD-11 today. Nagasaki to Tokyo. This will set us up for our long haul next week. We're going to do Tokyo to Kai-Tak. Cruise flight level is going to be 41,000 feet. We're not going to worry about the winds en route, but we're gonna expedite the cost index 88 here because we're a little bit behind the 8 ball since we had an internet delay. Oops. Oh yeah, we'll initialize that. Wonderful. All right, so we're set up there. Let's go to the flight plan page. And we're going to select our departure. We're going to blast off of runway 32. And let me pull out my flight plan. I loaded my flight plan on my real-world EFB so I can continue to look at the, get used to the formats. We're on the Chiku 4. It's really the Chiku 5. And we're going out to Uita off runway 32. So we're going to insert that. Wonderful. We'll go ahead and come on down here to the bottom. Going into Tokyo, what runway are you guys landing? Can I get a radio check on 22.8? Make sure my radios are on.
Yeah, but that
Hey, what runway are you guys landing on Tokyo?
I'm going for 3-4 right.
All right, 3-4 right. Let's do it.
Maybe 2-2, maybe 3-4. I don't know.
All right. I'll plan on 3-4 right then. All right, let's go. Let's look for our ILS 3-4.
Weather 220 at 16, gusting 26.
Okay, let's land 2-2.
2-2.
ILS 2-2. We don't actually have a star, but I'm going to insert that full procedure. So let's go plan mode. And we'll skip through this here now. We'll come all the way down. So it's going to take us out to Nexus. We're not on a star. So after X-Ray Alpha Changa, should be Changa. After X-Ray Alpha Charlie, we're going to just self-vector ourselves on the downwind for 2-2, which is fine. We don't have any ATC online, but that's the plan right now. We'll plan on 2-2 going into Tokyo and Narita. Let's go to the takeoff approach setup page, and we'll leave that right there. And while we do that, let me get the view set up. Let's take a listen to the APU spool. We'll spool up the APU right now. I already hear someone spooling up. Look at that. All right, so here's the APU. We're sitting underneath it. Let me go ahead and fire this sucker up. We're on Iveo today. Yes, we are. Do you have MobiFlight? Yes, I'm using MobiFlight to load up all of this. Correct. Mickey G, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. All right, APU is coming up online. With the APU coming up, let's go ahead and run some perf takeoff. So we're going to go to performance. We're going to plan runway 32. Now, I can never get the weather information, and I'm not sure why that is. So I'm just going to zero it out. The temperature is 17.
Nagasaki traffic, Lufthansa Cargo 2014 Heavy, taxiing runway 32 via Papa Tango 1. Nagasaki traffic.
It's actually 11 and 3003. Like for some reason, I don't know. The EFB here is not good. I'm gonna get takeoff weight. It's clunky. It doesn't take your info. It's an I don't know. I'm not gonna mess with it. We're not gonna go off the end of the runway. We're pretty light. We are gonna be close to max landing weight though. We will use. Let's use a TO. Let's do TO1 or just a regular TO. No derate. Anti-ice is off. We're gonna do a specific flap. We're gonna use 15.
Bank angle. Bank angle.
Who's that?
Wait.
Uh-oh.
I think I just heard the word podcast. Or do my ears deceive me? Lol. I flew this bird last night with the help of wrong side. Quite the adventure. I think I like this old beast.
Hey,
Lol.
Callie Simmer, how's it going? Thank you so much for the $10 bank angle check. Yes, you did hear it correct. You heard me correct. You heard podcast. It will happen. I actually have something special in the works for the podcast situation. So I know I've been saying it for years, but it's actually going to happen. It's actually going to happen, Callie. So thank you so much for the $10 bank angle check. Much appreciated. Very, very kind. Yeah, I love the I love the MD-11. I love having something different. I mean, I love the airplane so much. You guys even saw me get back into X-Plane just to fly the MD-11. So you guys know I'm not lying to you when I say I love these airplanes. So thank you so much, Callie Silver, for the support. Hope you're having a wonderful day, wonderful morning out there on the West Coast, indeed. All right, takeoff, none. We're doing packs on, and here's our speeds: 37, 42, 63. Loud and clear. So we're going to come in here. We're going to go 137, 142, 163. VCL, after we do flap 15, is going to populate to be no flex. OAT is 11C. And we'll zero this out. I don't have a... What don't I have? Oh, do I not? Why don't I have my perf data for takeoff? That's interesting. Okay, let's get the APU air on. APU air is coming on. No smoking seatbelt sign is coming on. Why aren't my VCLs populating? Flaps 15 is set there. 37, 47, 63. Did I not finish the initial perf? Oh, you're right. Duh. We forgot the whole second page, guys. All right, we got a a block fuel of 46.5. Weight and balance add. We'll do that. Clear that out. We'll level off early. Takeoff weight CG and the zero fuel weight CG. We're gonna bring all these in. Duh. It helps if you go in order, rookie. All right, 500 pounds for taxi. Block, takeoff gross weight 446. That's going to be below our max. Let me scroll all the way down to my performance calculations. All right, takeoff weight is 445.1. We are for... Yep, that checks. Let's see, what is our max for the runway for 14? Is 5.7. Yeah, so we're well below that. So we're good to go on the weights. That looks good. Fuel dipstick, we're going to clear that out. Now let's go back to this. VCL of 239. So I always forget how to set this. I'm going to go... We're going to leave it at 250 because VCL is below 250. So we've got our speed set 250 in the window. We'll set 410 on our top altitude for now. We can go ahead and arm the prof. So we're going to go VNAV and LNAV. We'll arm that here in a minute, I guess. And up to the overhead. Let's go ahead and disconnect the external power. Get a barrel ref. Oh, my emergency power switch. Oh, should have armed that. All right, so we are just about ready to go. All right, flight recorder, door, and mid-door. Wonderful. All right, throw you back on the engine page. Gate 9. We'll get ready to push here. So let's go to services. We'll close you. We'll disconnect. We'll remove the wheel chocks. Make sure the brake is set. It's not. Brakes are set. RTO. We're going to set our stab trim here in a minute. And Nagasaki traffic, Japan Air 357, pushing back off gate
9.
Uh,
Nagasaki NA 646, we're going to taxi to the holding point. Get out of the way of that.
All right, Alt P, brakes released, ready to rock and roll. All right, so we'll set our runway heading up here, 32-ish. 326 is set. ATS is off, prof is armed. And yeah, we'll be nav off the ground here. So runway 32 going up. I'm going to clear you out. I'm going to put you over on this page. We'll go takeoff approach page. Wonderful. Acceleration out to 3,000. Climb thrust 1,500. Let's do 1,000 on that. Can I lower that to 1,000? Out of range. It's got to be 1,500. Interesting. All right, now I know we kind of went through hyperspeed there, getting the box set up here. It's just because we're a little bit behind schedule. But sounds, we're about to start them up. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to let you guys listen. I'm going to make sure the volume is all the way up. I'll let you guys hear it, and then I will express my opinions. You guys know I think sounds can be such a huge difference. They can be a make or break factor for an airplane, especially something that is not very prevalent flying real world anymore, right? There's a couple freighters that have them, and other than that, that's it. So we really need a good sound pack on these old birds, so it kind of brings the airplane to life, right? So we can preserve history with an old piece of equipment here. They're actually going to turn us on this pushback, huh? I'm a little bit sussed out, but we'll go ahead and rock it.
Saki in a 646 departing 32.
We got an ANA 727 is departing. I'm going to wait to start here until we hopefully straighten out. Close enough. Cockpit around, set brakes, brake set, clear disconnect. We're going to start them up after the 727 blasts off. It's definitely quiet in the cockpit, McAllen, I agree.
I guess I can traffic to from the cargo 2013 heavy.
I got the sounds all the way up, by the way. Sounds are all the way up. It looks like he's kind of struggling to get going there. Oh, lag. There he goes. Must be a lag spike. That's interesting. There he goes. All right. Let's go ahead and spool them up. We're going to go, let's see, it's the 15th, so we'll go ignition and B today. Packs auto cut out. Starting 3. Love the Jaybird.
I guess I can traffic from the cargo 2013 heavy departing.
Tutco, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey V1, hope the training is going well. I'll be learning the MD-11 tonight and Learjet 35 A340 this weekend. Too many planes, too little time. My man. Yeah, you got your work cut out for you for the Learjet, man. That's for sure. A340 is a piece of cake. Did see that nice update that came out. MD-11 is not too bad either, man. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. Thank you so much, Tutco, for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. Training is going well, man. Training is going well. I'm loving it. I love the 7.3, and we'll talk more of that on the cruise. All right, as far as sounds are concerned, first off, I'm struggling to find any good audio of MD-11s from the passenger wing view starting up. So I can understand where references are kind of hard to find. I almost feel like the sounds for start, they seem to me like they are somewhat more on the realistic side of things, because the videos that I find are very quiet of the MD-11. Like the MD-11, the videos that are available on YouTube from the passenger side of things, they're not super pronounced. Now, I think if we get a little bit more bass, and there's two ways to go about this. You either, in my opinion, have to have a sound option in the EFB where you can yourself elect to increase the volume of certain things, or I think they just need to be go all out and be enhanced around the board. Now, some people prefer enhanced sounds to encapsulate the I guess simulation effect, right? Because we're on a PC. That's where I sit. I like having something a little bit more cinematic, if you will, to help kind of bring the simulation to life, because I'm not sitting in the cockpit. I don't smell the airplane. I don't feel the engines vibrating. We don't have all those other senses going off, right? So I think the best way to go about that is to actually have a sound option in the EFB where I can then come here and say, hey, I want to crank the engine sounds up. I want to, I want to turn down this sound, but I want to turn up these sounds. Even though it may not be that how it is in the real airplane, I want it in the sim. Now, the best analogy I can give you is the Rotate MD-80. The Rotate MD-8, not the Rotate, excuse me, the Leonardo MD-80 in 2024. With default sounds, I don't want to fly the airplane. With the immersive audio pack, I have a hard time not flying the airplane. All right? So, it sounds to me can make or break an add-on. So, in my opinion, these sounds, they feel too hollow to me. They feel hollow. They feel a little bit on the quiet side of things. We need that oomph or that buzz, you know. And you'll hear more when we do our takeoff as well. But that's my opinion on sounds. If you go back to some of my streams, I'm going to set my stab trim here 5.3. If you go back to some of my streams in the Rotate where we use the Mango sound pack, I really think if the Mango guys and whoever did the sounds for this, I think it was Echo 19, maybe they could do a collab, you know, and get a little sound pack collab going on here, because I think there's some really good things about the Mango. There's definitely some more enhancement stuff in the Mango that's not very realistic, at least from what I can tell from YouTube, but I actually like it in SimWorld. I don't know. That's my thoughts on the sounds. I think that is probably the largest, that's probably the biggest downfall of the update is the sounds. And it's not even that bad. It's just if I were to say the number one thing that I would like to see changed is that, and then one other thing which we'll get to. Let me show you flap sounds. Don't exist. So again, just kind of, again, there we do a flight control check. Microsoft settings allow you to turn up engine sounds. Yeah, mine are all the way up, Marcus. I'm talking about additional sound settings. Think AnyBuilds. AnyBuilds has it. AnyBuilds has the option, right, for that in the EFB. All right, let's run a little after takeoff. All right, we got stab trim 5.3. We are flaps set, dial of flap 15. And APU is coming offline. APU power can come on down. APU air can come off. APU power can come off. And, oh, should have had the beacon light on. Let's go ahead and taxi, get out of here. Nagasaki ground, Japan Air 357 taxi, ready 32. Flap sounds frustrating. TFDi had really good flap sounds early on. They went by after an update, not sure what happened. Classic Jet Sim Pod. Okay, I thought I was going crazy, but I wasn't sure if I was just mixing up old airplanes and different sims. I could have sworn there was flap sounds early on. So it very well might be a bug, Run, very well. But here's the thing. Go look at MD-11 videos on YouTube, and there's nothing, at least that I've seen, that says, oh, this is super pronounced sound and it's super loud. It's really not. The MD-11 was a very, at least from YouTube views and stuff, it seemed pretty quiet. It seemed like a pretty comfortable cabin, especially, I'm sure, as you get up front, you know, first class. Although, I mean, you still have wing-mounted engines. It's not quite like an MD-80 where it's dead silent up front, but I don't know. I just feel like it's lacking in the sound department. That's really what it boils down to. Wrong side sim in the house. What's going on, man? I know I saw your name pop up there. Chat's been moving a mile a minute. I'm trying to catch back up because I was behind schedule courtesy of the internet going down. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Good to see you, man. I love that Japan Air 7.4 back there. That is beautiful. 744. The engine's wings are pretty... They are. I mean, if you look at it. But, I mean, it's... You know, it's not going to be MD-80 quiet zippy. But that's what I'm saying. You know, the MD-11 is pretty comfortable from a passenger standpoint. I know I flew on MD-11s. I can't remember what it sounded like. I have more memories of the L1011, to be honest with you. ATA L1011. That's what we need. I need Whiskey Throttle to get his ATA liveries ported over to the new update. I remember my first L1011 flight like it was yesterday, man. Probably because it was my first like real wide body experience. Oh, Elena Zane, that's supposed to be a 742? Even better. Alright, Nagasaki traffic, Japan Air 357 departing runway 32, Nagasaki. All right. Taxiing the airplane on the ground, very nice. It feels like you really have to respect its momentum and mass, and you could oversteer and skid the nose wheel quite easily. I don't know if that's realistic behavior, but that's what it does in the sim, and I can appreciate that. So especially, you know, these bigger airplanes, you won't realize how fast you're actually going. You're sitting so high from the ground. Just monitor that ground speed, you know, make those 90-degree turns be less than 10 knots. It does require significant power to get going. Oh yeah, we need to get the spoilers on. Thanks, buddy. I forgot. There we go. Now we got the takeoff green box. Thank you. Turkan, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we're visiting Wingnut's mom's house. Exactly. All right, we are ready. And Nagasaki traffic, Japan Air 317, roll on runway 32. Okay. So, I'm going to go prof arms. We're ready. You guys listen to the sights and sounds of the takeoff. It's going to get very busy for me because we're taking a full power takeoff. We're relatively light, so it's going to get kind of sporty. I'm going to fly the airplane. Hit those yogas in chat. Take a listen. Here we go. Hit the like button, too, while you're at it. Rotate. Positive brake, gear up, fly. On nav there. Thrust reduction.
Stabilizer motion.
Let's get that nose down. We're going to fly through the flight director here.
Stabilizer motion.
Quite aggressive. Alright, flaps retraction to slats. Hopefully I put it in the right spot. Slat retraction's going green. Clean it up. All right, we're looking for 250, 250. After takeoff checklist, gear lever. Tell me you're in a 7-3 without telling me you're in a 7-3. All right, we'll disarm you. All right, we got a bank angle check to the right coming up. I love the Japan Air tail numbers on the ship numbers, I guess, on top of the wing. Now, hand flying, for the most part, it's actually very nice. It's very docile. It definitely feels like you're flying a wide body. But from the sound perspective, I'm going to go ahead and turn my sim down now. Lower it down about 50% now. So from a sim perspective, I just, the sounds to me kind of miss. They just miss there. I don't have that oomph I need, that roar. I mean, that was a non-derated takeoff as well. So it doesn't get much more open than that. I didn't quite see the EPR there on TO, but it is pretty good. It's pretty high up. Increase the range here a little bit. All right, coming through 10. Sandman, you hear very little difference between GE and Pratt. That was going to be my next question. I've only flown whatever these engines are. These the Pratts? Yeah. So I don't know, does the GE sound any better or not? Or is there a difference in sound? So I've only messed around with this particular engine. Now I will say that Vodka has dialed in the profile for the MD-11. I had to make some serious adjustments to my force feedback profiles after getting some hands-on experience in the sim with just the 7.3. I can only imagine the MD-11 is similar in terms of, you know, control column forces. Lot more firm than I had initially planned on or thought about. All right, we're pitching for 310 knots here. We'll get ourselves straightened out and we'll get the autopilot on. Sam, yes. Well, so this sound is definitely updated from the previous version in 2020. I can definitely tell there's an update in the sounds. That's a beautiful view right there. Like, I'm fine with the wind noise and everything. It sounds pretty believable to me. Oh, we're supposed to be 310. I'm going to 330. That's kind of why we blew past that turn there. Stab trim. We're going to go ahead and skip that. We're going to just go ahead and climb all the way up 410, and we'll go ahead and get Command A on. I'm going to skip that restriction. All right, George has the jet. Got to make sure when you're using force feedback, you have to be very careful with your profile because this particular airplane does not play nice with the autopilot movements. I think we got it dialed in now. Yeah, she's dialed in. She's looking good. I don't know why the stab trim is almost all the way full forward. Makes me a little nervous, but rocking and rolling. So as we continue to climb out, see that wind noise starts to get pretty dang loud up here. We're at 10,000 feet. We'll get the retracts. I missed that. And then here we go, going through 18. Transition. Full standard. Standard set. We got the rest of our lights. All right, we'll get the logo light off. And then we'll do a ding 'em. We'll ding 'em. You're now free to move about the car. Well, get those smoke 'em if you got 'em's going. So I don't know. Sounds are to me one of the biggest drawbacks. While we're on that, we're on the negatives. We'll get the negatives out of the way, then we'll start going on the go to get some more positives. One thing that I noticed, and I'm sure we'll notice this in the pull these back so I can see them in the view here. One thing I noticed, the aircraft, if you are in a pitch for speed mode, it is extremely aggressive in its pitch. So it will throw you 10 degrees nose low, if not more, trying to pitch for a speed. It will also throw you in climbs of excess of 10,000 feet per minute. Like if I were to take command of the speed here, select speed, pitch up. I don't know if that's realistic behavior. I highly doubt it, especially a 10 degrees nose low pitch attitude. But it happens very aggressively. I think if it could be smoothed out a little bit, that would be helpful, especially if you're like trying to work your way down a complex VNAV arrival or something and you got to dial the speed back. It's almost better to be in vertical speed mode and kind of work it yourself. But that's one thing you really got to pay attention to is the pitch adjustment. Let's come down here and take a look. Alberto D, what's up, my man? How you doing? Finally catching up to things. All right, let's go back full screen cam. Captain McGee, thanks for the $5 super chat. How you doing, man? Your thoughts? Wouldn't the Airbus McDo from Women make more sense with the MD-11 and buttons? Possibly. Captain McGee, thanks for the $5 super chat. I actually don't even know. Probably, man. Here's the thing. I've been looking at Boeing McDo's for the last 3 months, so I don't even know what an Airbus McDo looks like anymore, Captain McGee. All I did is I basically I programmed the buttons to do kind of what I think they should do. And the main thing is I've got all my letters and I've got all my numbers and my line select keys. You know, if I want to come down here and select prog page, I will. You know, I'll look at that and whatnot. But as long as I can type on the McDo, I'm happy because I know it's not an MD-11 McDo. And I don't own the Airbus one. I just have the 747 and the old school 73. You're aware you can disable autopilot hardware override off? I believe so, right? That's this feature over here, which is already off. Right? Allow hardware overforce? No. So I have that off. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that feature is enabled or not. The TFDi has always suffered from the Brunner, trying to get the Brunner software to work with the TFDi has always been tricky. It's been tricky, but right now, so basically, the way to do it is don't allow the autopilot, don't allow your yoke to move, don't allow your yoke to follow the autopilot. Captain, what do you think about the lighting in 2024? I'm no pilot, but it seems too bright at sometimes, like on the ramp at night. Thoughts? Hey, it's Jerry. What's up, man? Yes, so the lighting in 2024 is really good over the cities and stuff I like, but airport environment lighting is still kind of blown out. The lights look a little bit too big. If you want to see realistic airport environment, X-Plane 12 still owns the night when it comes to aerodrome lighting operations. The reflections, the way the lights lit up in the cast light, it's actually superior to Microsoft 2024. Especially taxiway lights, edge lights. So in X-Plane 12, the bi-directional taxi line centerline lights actually are bi-directional. You can only see them when you're going at them or away from them like you're supposed to. You won't see them from the sides, which is pretty cool. It definitely has a better lighting engine around the field. Now, I do think the cities at night, the way the lights cast the light pollution up into the clouds and stuff in Microsoft 22 is really awesome as well. But as far as the airport environment, yeah. Moza has the same issue. I was working okay in MD-11 profile, and the plane won't let the yoke follow movements. Yeah, Sandman. So if Moza is similar, then do what I said there. Like, make sure the yoke follow movement, all that stuff is off. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with LSAS. I think it has something to do with LSAS because the rotate, believe it or not, the rotate MD-11 has something similar. But as of late, I've been able to have it follow the autopilot, and it works fine. But it is MD-11 is tricky. I think it has something to do with LSAS. All right, so we've talked about the sounds. I talked about the number one flight model issue for me is the pitching. The pitching for speed mode seems like it needs to smooth out. Now, with that aside, let's get into the texturing. Well, first, I mean, the model. We go outside, look at the model. The model is beautiful. TFDi has done some really good. I'm going to turn this down further. TFDi has done some really good videos and shorts on showing you before and after shots of the MD-11. Ooh, look, we just started marking. Beautiful. Love that. We got 3 of them too, right? Yeah, buddy. Look at that. So the model, I think, is really well done. They've really upped the game. And it's what I kind of expected, kind of the title of this stream, you know, being someone who's flown the 717 when it was in its final or later stages of life in P3D, knowing what TFDi is capable of system-wise, because they do have some pretty good system simulation. I was kind of expecting that out of the gate. When it first dropped into 2020, it wasn't there, the model wasn't there, the sounds were amiss. But now, we've got a much better model. It looks really clean. It's brought up to 2024 standards. As we get into the texturing I hit a little bit early on. You make sure you have an officially supported livery, and the texturing is really nice. I do think the wings look much better than what we had in 2020, much improved. The cabin, oh man, do I have dynamic window shades on? How do I, oh, you got to roll them up? I had no idea you had to roll those up. That's kind of neat. So, being able to set back, you guys know I love my window views with a window frame because I feel like it adds just a little bit more immersion. I don't know if I used to always like the wing view, like for instance this one. I used to always love these. No pane, no glass, no window frame. But then as honestly, the fly-by-wire was the first one to show it when we had the default Azobo 320 and you had those really clean windows. And by clean I mean good. Like they border reality with the edges. This is what I've fallen in love with on my personal preference. The 2020 version, not good at all. This, look how clean this is. You got the texturing, super sharp lines. You got the you can tell it's multi-pane glass. You got the little pressure thing down there. So very nicely done modeling the cabin and the window sills and all that. We'll take a cabin tour when we get to cruise. So texturing, modeling is very good around the airframe. Let's talk cockpit for a second, okay? Let me see what our max cruise altitude is before because I said we were going to get a little bit, might get a little bit too high. Isn't there a perf? Let's go perf. Optimum max is 40. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and set 3.9 and pull it. 390 is what we're going to go to. 390 now. Jesse, you the same thing? You like the window frame views? Yeah. Now this view looks pretty hot because we got the sun coming through here. V-Pilot design, what's going on? How to make my own bi-directional taxi center lights for Skibo? Nice. See, so yeah, that's where the good payware sceneries come into play, because then you get little details like that, having the bi-directional centerline lights for Bogota. Matter of fact, V-Pilot, we've got some airplanes to go back down to South America. We've got some flying to do down there. Definitely have some flying to do. For the cockpit textures, overhead, beautiful, love it. I think it's a great overhead. Textures look good, lighting looks good. no issues. Center pedestal, honestly, same thing. I think it looks pretty good. Main cockpit, I don't know how to explain this. You guys let me know if I'm crazy or if I'm off my rocker. I think the detail is good. Okay, they've cleaned it up. I love the wear marks. I love the scratching. I'm streaming in 2K. I'm watching this in 2K. I don't know if you have a 2K monitor. You're watching in 2K. There's something about this particular cockpit, and I don't know if it's the shades of color or the LODs. Like, it just doesn't pop to me. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying I actually like it. It's way better than what we had in 2020. But, you know, I sit here and I look at this and I'm like, is it the lighting? Like, maybe we're not casting light like underneath. I know it's kind of a tough spot now because we're dealing with Microsoft lighting. But some of the, like, it's kind of hard to read some of the words. They seem a little bit fuzzy. I don't know if that has to do with LODs, because when you zoom in on it, you move up close to it. I mean, looks pretty good. I turn off the LOD feature. What is that, FO David? There's an LOD features? I'm gonna look into that, FO David. What is that? What is the LOD feature? But yeah, it's good. You got the CRT screens. It just needs, I feel like it's lacking depth. Now, I say this, you know, respectfully, right? Because I could not do this. I couldn't get it. I mean, I think what we have is really good and it's well improved. And for the, you know, small upgrade fee, where's the outrage? I think it's well worth it. I'm not bashing it at all. I'm just saying I don't know what it is. It's just I sit here and I'm like, it's just not. It's not. It doesn't have the depth that I thought it would have. So that's really all my. That's really my full review of the airplane. We've talked sounds. I think the model is really good. The sounds lack. There's some, you know, pitching for speed characteristics I think need to be smoothed out. And then the cockpit, it's good. It's good, but yeah, it just doesn't pop. I don't know why. I thought it was my monitor. I thought it was, you know, looking at other screenshots. But either way, am I happy that I have it? Yes. Do I think it's well worth the price? I do. I do think it's well worth the price. I'm happy. Performance. Let's note on perf. Frames for me. Now remember, performance is always, it's a touchy subject because some people's computers kick ass. Some people's computers, they're good computers, but certain things just don't run well. For me, this airplane is one of the heaviest airplanes I have in the sim. Right now, I'm only getting 50 frames. This is with auto FPS on. I know I'm streaming. I know where it comes. Oh, 50 frames. That's great. Yeah, it's good. In the cockpit, I'm getting 48, 49 frames right now. In the likes of, say, PMDG, the Phoenix, I'd be 65, 70, 80 frames easy. So it is harder on the performance for me. There is a performance hit with this airplane. I don't know if maybe that has to do with the fact that it's talking with the extended simulations package, which we're going to get into next, which I do have, and I think it's really neat. But it is a very heavy airplane on frames for me. Like right now, I'm sitting at 47 frames. The no frame gen, I don't use frame gen. And I'm not complaining. I'm not saying that it's not good in performance. 47 frames. Geez, that's 4x what we used to fly with on the FSX days, okay? So don't come at me saying, oh, you think she's upset for 47 frames. I'm not. I'm just telling you like the relationship between other add-ons and this one does hit the performance on my machine. So maybe if you typically have 40 frames and you get the MD-11, you should expect maybe 30 frames, maybe slightly under 30 frames. It just kind of depends. I will say that this is a heavier airplane on performance. But I don't have any issues with it. I've done a couple flights. We'll see how we go into Narita. I mean, that's a pretty heavy scenery right down there in Narita. So we'll see how the approach is into there. on my home PC with my 3090, I have to run the low LOD cabins. I can't. I do like that option. That is an option. You can use the low LOD cabin where it gets rid of the cabin, and it's empty back there. There's nothing going on. I love that option. I think that's a great option. I think I kind of wish more airplanes had that option for computers that aren't quite up to the most recent standards. You can squeeze out a few more frames that way. But yeah, my home PC, which is an old i9 and a 3090, I can run the full LOD cabin, but it's not enjoyable. I gotta go straight at low LOD, and then I got a pretty smooth performance. But yeah, no, I don't use frame gen. Remember, I have the AMD, the fluid frame thing, but I don't use it. I think I don't know. I like the way the planes fly without it, if I'm being honest with you, man. And with Sim Update 4, I really haven't needed to use anything. No performance issues with anything. You can see as we move through the cabin up here, it's pretty smooth. Every now and then you'll get a stutter as you go through all the seats. But just wanted to make that note. The screens don't look backlit and they aren't bright enough. Yeah, if you're talking about the CRTs up front, Jeremy, yeah, there's something about them, Jeremy. There's something about them, right? In Trijet, someone said that only has 2 thrust levers. Does it make more sense to bind 3 to 2 or 1 to 2? Marcus, I would bind your left engine and the center engine, 1 and 2. I would bind those on 1, and then I would bind engine 3 separate. So, or your left wing, however you do it. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you do left in 1 or right in 1, but you want to have all 3 bound for sure. The performance is due to the cabin. If you use low poly one, you get much better. Yep, that's what I was going over. And like I said, I'm glad they have that option. We'll do a cabin tour here next because that is going to be pretty popular. Let's take a look at the beautiful high LOD cabin. So seatbelt sign is coming off. And let's go ahead and do it. Do you get externals? Do you get stutters? Not right now, Grog. I haven't noticed any. Maybe a little bit. Nothing crazy. I've only noticed it when I'm going through wing views. That's when I notice it the most. All right, let's hop into the cabin. We'll do a cabin tour. V1 is just a spoiled snob. Come on, T-Tut Company. You know I'm not. You guys always ask, how's performance? And I always say, oh, it's negligible. Now, this is the first airplane where I'm like, yeah, I need to launch auto FPS, and I need to check the frames. But like I said, I think the reason for that is because when we have the high LOD cabin, and 2, there is a lot of stuff being simulated and checked that we will take a look at. What was I able to touch? There's something going on back there. So here we go. We're in the galley. Now, this is funny. No? Okay, cool. Sometimes you get locked in certain views. I wonder if there's an option to just turn all these open. So here we are, first class. This is where you had the Jaybird full massage seats on Japan Airlines. Zoom in on the galley labels. I missed it. Where are they at? Oh my goodness, look at that. Granola, pineapple slices, cheese steaks, 20 cheese pizzas, 80 Hong Ching Chuang, Costco hot dogs, yummy. Where's the kimchi? Oh, that would be Korea. All right. Pretty neat. All right, moving on. You see a little bit of stutter as I move through the cabin. That's real, but very, very highly detailed. Did these move? Yeah. Okay, so we're getting, again, this is the, what is it? iFly was one of the first to do it where they dropped like everything as simulated cabins. I don't know what I clicked there. I hit something. Click something. All right, let's just keep going. I don't know. How many of you actually come back and... Oh! How many of you actually come back into the cabin and open overhead bins? We got ourselves a toilet. Now, I did see in the trailer video for the A340 today that had water and showers and stuff. That blows my mind. Like, what are we doing? I'm gonna have to try that update out for the 340. It's got actual water, and you can take a shower on the 340 now. Pretty wild. So here's our lavatory. Can we flush it? No flush. I guess we would just call this one in-op, all right? So let's go ahead and back out of here. Go ahead and keep that occupado. Hot take, sim planes shouldn't come with cabins, waste time, make them part of liveries. I don't totally disagree, Vodka. My idea with cabins, I think you should have a highly optimized cabin, but I don't need anything else. Like I don't need movable overhead bins. I know we always come back and do the toilet check. I love that. Do I need it? No. I think those would be things that should be added at the very end of development, like if you have spare time or in an update, but focus everything on optimizing everything. I don't need a super detailed cabin. Now, I'm not going to say I don't like it. I don't need it. I'm not the one that comes back here. You guys know how I feel about the flight attendant panels, right? Can't stand flight attendant panels. But as we move into the aft cabin here, now we get stuck in the model every now and then. That is I don't know why that is. I feel like that's any developer who developed for P3D or FSX, whenever they bring an airplane to Microsoft 2020, 2024, you always get those collision issues. Even if it's a native update for the sim, however they do their modeling and developing, they do something where you get stuck. It's a beautiful view right there. Love that. Bo Nix Hero says, looking back at the old streams, the Rotate Cockpit looks brighter, sharper, more vibrant, and stronger contrast, and more cinematic. The TFDi looks darker, softer, flatter, and more muted. That is a great way to put it, Bo Nix. I actually did the same thing. I looked up my LAX stream when we did the night takeoff on the Rotate MD-11. There's something about the vibrancy and the sharpness and contrast that made it more cinematic. I agree. It looks more cinematic. And the TFDi it's just softer. It's softer, flatter, and more muted. Now, we're going to have to go find some high-quality photos of the cockpit and compare the real airplane. But yeah, it's just because I sit in that cockpit, I'm like, what's going on up here? I can't quite put my finger on it because the textures aren't bad, the model's not bad. You know, it's nothing physically in the cockpit. It's almost like it's a color thing, right? Checking the labs, man, this is quite the cabin here. I get stuck in the PMDG cabin sometimes too, maybe 10% as much as this cabin. Yep. Yeah, see, PMDG though, they developed for FSX, P3D. But name a dev that developed solely for Microsoft and you rarely ever get stuck. My favorite collision model ever is the fly-by-wire A380. You can move wherever the hell you want to move. You never get stuck. You can go right through the door. You can go up through the door. That's my favorite cabin of all time. I'm curious what causes it from I guess a technical standpoint, because there's got to be something going on where they're like, I don't know what programs they use to make these models, but I'm genuinely curious, like what is it? What causes collisions? The seats for the MD-11 for UPS are more comfortable than the FO David, 100%, dude. The jump seats on UPS MD-11s are fantastic, man. I jump seated on an MD-11 out of Philly going to I want to say we went straight to Dallas, but I think we went to Louisville because then I got to see the big crew facility there. It was red eye, middle of the night, so I mean, yeah, it was. I don't remember a whole lot of it because I was completely fatigued. But I did jump on an MD-11 UPS out of Philly many years ago. All right, moving up. Ooh, here's our cabin calls. Overhead entry. Please word and call. Attendant call station. Now, what is interesting, I think for you cargo fans, you really like this. The doors are simulated correctly, like you have to hit the right buttons and everything, which is kind of neat if you want to come back here and close cargo door, things like that, and you want to come back here and play flight attendant. You can do the flight attendant door arming, disarming training. So attention to detail, right? These are all little details. Does the mirror in the toilet actually mirror toilet? No, it mirrors something outside. All these ovens are 50C. Every one of them is 50C. But I mean, it's high quality. Oh, see, we're stuck. What am I stuck on? Why am I stuck? I'm stuck. There we go. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Get out, get out, get out. Ooh. No. That's not our actual position, is it? No, because we would be landing. We're going to Tokyo. That's pretty cool. View when your package has arrived. When you open it, you will see it is a little too late. Oh, really, T-Tut? I'll have to go check, man. I'm at the HQ today. I'll go check, my man. Thank you so much, dude. That's a green dot screen if I've ever seen one. We're going to have to watch our green dot screen up here. I thought that was actual position. That might just be added from the livery maker. Belt loop got stuck in an oven latch. Oh my gosh. Here's the other thing, guys. No one told me about the 737 that you're going to lose all your belt loops. Freaking fire extinguishers collect. It is a tight cockpit, y'all. It is a tight cockpit. Look at this. I love these details from livery creators like this. Look at the menu. What are we serving today? What are we serving? Starters. Choice of buttered sourdough or toasted English muffin with a slide of fruit jam, cream cheese, or an avocado milk. Light morning kale and arugula lettuce salad topped with tomatoes with any dressing of choice or either ranch, blue cheese, Caesar dressing, French dressing. For the main course, English-style breakfast, 2 slices of grilled tomatoes, 2 eggs, sunny side up, baked beans. Oh my goodness, making myself hungry. 3 pork sausages, not 2, 3 of them. And an option of toasted bread. My goodness. Latte. Where's Callie Simmer? Let's get her latte. Yep, I saw latte on there. Very cool. These airplanes capture the vibe of when flying was more than just how much money can we squeeze out of this airframe. It was about the experience. It was about class, you know, first class. You had these wonderful meals, service. Hard to find nowadays. Now, I don't know how it is in Japan still. I've never flown Japan Airlines, so I don't know how it is, but it just reminds me of that era when flying was a luxury and not looked at as a privilege. People showed up in pajamas. Anyway, all right, there's our cabin tour. You guys want to see anything else? No? Why does this one say 11 on it? Oh, it's just a... How do you think the cabin compares to the PMDG 737? I think it's very comparable. I think the PMDG is more optimized. I think the PMDG is definitely more optimized. But it's pretty comparable. Pretty comparable. All right, back into the flight deck. Where's the flight engineer? Don't have him anymore, right? Got rid of him from the L10, DC-10, so union's got to keep their job, so put the seat there. Cool little jump seat. I think this will have to be our green dot. Where are we going to green dot from? We have to figure that out. All right, back into the cockpit. We are... Take a look at our progress page here. 291 to go. We're looking good. There's some funny references on the flight deck door. Let's take a look. Captain Simple, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Says, how was your Boeing training compared to the cup of coffee sim? I tell you what, there's a lot of things in the sim that PMDG's nailed, man. At least the sims that we use, I've seen some very similar behavior. So PMDG did a great job. I mean, I always felt that they did, but it's... here's one thing that's interesting to me. So I don't like, you guys know I don't like glass in the sim world. You know, if you give me an option between the Max and the NG, I said I want to fly the NG. So I've been flying multiple sims. I've been flying NG sim and the Max sim. There's something about the Max in real life, at least in the sim, it just is different. That I actually really enjoy those screens in the Max. I feel like there's a lot more... I don't know. It's not more capable, but it just feels like you have a lot more at your disposal. You have the huge MFD, so you can get your VSD there. You can put your weather up on top. A lot of cool. I don't know. That's what kind of took me by surprise. Is I enjoyed sitting in the Max looking at those screens more than I thought I would. The NG is still epic though. Closest I'll ever get to a 727. All right, what do we got here? Walter White, Walter White certificate. Boeing commercial airplanes. I wonder if this particular aircraft is still flying at UPS. Didn't a lot of these go to UPS? Very cool. A lot of detail on this stuff here. A lot of detail. All right, let's go outside. Walter White. Let's find ourselves a good external model view. Now, I want to show you guys. See if I can do this. I had a hard time doing this before. So the extended version comes with this. Let me get it loaded up here. Will you work this time? Ah, good, it works. All right, good. Interesting. Like before, it wouldn't register as its own program. Now I don't know why I can't get it. Why can't I show you full screen? No, that's not it. Huh? I can't show you. It's so bizarre. Can you see that? Okay, I think you can see part of that. So you have. This is the extended simulation part of the add-on. You can reveal failure status, which we're not going to do right now. I'm not sure what all these red things mean. Everything seems to be working just fine on the aircraft. However, if you do run into some failures, this is where you're going to repair it. This is where you're going to deal with your fluids, I believe. Oil filter pump failure, ice failure, oil leak. If you start leaking oil. So it allows you to have a feeling of ownership. I believe the red exclamation points are critically of that failure. So then everything, but see, then everything would be red. But maybe I haven't. Oh, it tells you how. Oh, I see. Substantial. Aha. Okay, it tells you how effective, or like I guess what the effectiveness is of the failure. Very cool. So I don't know. Is that popping up? OBS is weird. It won't let me show you the full screen unless I do a desktop capture, and then when I do that, my sim gets stuttery. So, oh yeah, these are substantial problems. These are catastrophic problems. There you go. Red kind of means land immediately. Orange is not as serious, not entirely accurate though. I got you. There you go. And you got like an AGS fault here, which is a nuisance warning. Okay, so very cool. But what I was going to say is, and it's actually cool, you can set this to your phone or tablet. You can scan a QR code. It connects to the sim, connects to the airplane, and it will allow you to get that feeling of ownership of the aircraft. I can hit this. Oh, you must be on the ground to maintain the aircraft. So I won't show you that right now. What does this do? It shows you the different components. So, I mean, it's pretty neat. It's not game-breaking, but I love the fact that we have a sense of ownership in airliners like this. You know, I think the FS Labs, you guys say I hate on the FS Labs all the time, but the FS Labs really well have really well simulated that ownership feeling of the aircraft, where I think to this day they're the only ones that has one of the coolest features that I've ever seen. And that is when you park the aircraft for your flight is done, and then you go do something, you come back the next day, you load up another flight, that aircraft will have simulated being flown throughout the day and the night by other crew members. So other things may become broken on it. You got to consult the tech log and maintenance. I think that is one of the coolest things I've seen in the sim world as far as pertaining to airliners specifically. Ooh, we got a center online. So this isn't quite that level, but I will say I appreciate what TFDi is doing with it. I like the fact that we have something to...
Center ANA 646, level 330, actually ready for descent.
You're on the wrong freak, Vodka. All right, 132.3. I haven't had a controller on IVAO in a very long time. Center, good afternoon. Japan Air 357 Heavy, flight level 3900.
Japan 357 Heavy, hello, Squawk 3675.
Squawk 3675, Japan Air 357 Heavy. Hey! How cool is that? Real Japan ATC, my man.
Good control, Japan Air 606 Heavy, flight level 350.
That's gotta be that
Japan 606, hello, Squawk 6036.
Pilot Edge Premium. AA Ron, yeah, indeed, buddy.
Center, ANA 646, level 330.
Enable 646, hello, Squawk 6535, and check mode Charlie, please.
How do I reset my cruise altitude, chat?
Six 6535 for ANA 646, we should be on mode Charlie.
Check your software altitude. Check if you out, please, mode Charlie. Okay, now okay. Radar contact on flight level 330, maintain as file. Expect the procedure for arrival, 116 left. Procedure Oshima, Romeo, ILS 16 left. Report top of descent.
What? All right.
Okay, Oshima, Romeo 16 left, ready for descent, ANA 646.
What runway is that?
Japan 357 have it. Radar contact 33 on the flight level 390. Continue as file. Expect Oshima, Romeo 116 left ILS approach.
All right. All right, we'll expect the Oshima 1 Romeo 16 left approach for Japan Air 357 Heavy. All right, Oshima 1 Romeo for 16 left. Hold on, I gotta look at my real world chats. Chat, it's this week. It just got serious.
Japan 606 Heavy, radar contact 34 on flight level 350. Continue as file. Expect Oshima Romeo 116 left ILS approach.
Oshima Romeo, no, I got it.
Japan Air 606, Roger. Unfortunately, we're unable, our nav arrival.
Ah, that's a 7-4 classic. That's epic.
Okay, no problem. So expect vectors for approach ILS 16 left. Report top of descent.
That's epic. The 7-4 can't do RNAV. It's a freaking fearless. I love it. All right, I gotta find my departure arrivals here. So let's go here, star. We're gonna be coming up on the Oshima Romeo is what we want. So Oshima Romeo. Oh man, I hope I have it. Elemento. Did I miss it? N-O-P. Crap, I don't have it. Crap, I don't have it. Chat. We don't have the Oshima. We have the ILS 16 right. Oshima's X-ray Alpha Charlie identifier. Oh, you're right. Let me see. Tell me,
good day, good.
Tell me you've never flown to Japan without ever flying to
Base
Japan.
Cargo 212, Japan control.
Japan Cargo 212, hello, Squawk 6710.
XACR, you're right, XACR. My goodness, they have enough,
6010. Base Cargo 212.
Please be there, please be there.
6710.
Alright, XACR.
6710 correction, Base Cargo 212.
Insert. Did you drag the oh no, that's we're gonna get to that.
71, hello, Squawk
I did not do that, Phoenix Galaxy,
5277.
and we're gonna talk about that here. My overall review. Okay, so it's all linked up. Look at this.
So Cargo 212 radar contact. Confirm me altitude requirement 10.
All right, so we're gonna step through this.
I see ahead mountains. I will try
Reco,
to reach
Arctic.
15,500 or
X-ray Alpha
17,500.
Charlie.
More or less. I think 60,500.
And if I put the
bit cargo 212.
data on here.
212 Roger, 50,500 feet approved. Maintain visual conditions,
Exact,
separate
Airline.
the mountain or the others. Maintain route, confirm your file, report top of descent or visual destination.
That's
Thank you
not
very much. Continue climb to 16,500. Continue visual condition. I call you back.
X-ray Alpha
approaching
Charlie,
my airport
Acorn.
destination. Thank you very much. Bed cargo 212.
FedEx 71 Heavy, radar contact 37 on level 350, continue as file. Expected procedure, Oshima, Romeo, Oshima Romeo arrival, ILS approach on the 16 left, report top of descent.
Alright. X-ray Alpha Charlie, Acorn. Nope. X-ray Alpha Charlie. Where's Acorn at? Should be Anzac. Solar. And solar is 220, 230 at 13. Scout. Yeah, we need to start down. Scope. TR6. Yep. Newman. Yep. NORAC. TR671. TR672. Nurse. Neuro. My goodness. Alright, so it's all in there except after that one fix. We're going to have to fix this here. Center Japan Air 357 Heavy, ready for descent.
Japan 357 Heavy, clear descent initially 13,000 feet.
Descend 13,000 feet to Japan Air 357 Heavy.
For information, adjust chicken 8 1009er.
1009, thank you. Alright. So, we're in a hold, idle, engines coming back, down we go. This is going to be interesting. So, here we go. Watch the aircraft go berserk here. Why don't I have X-ray Alpha Charlie? It should be Anzac. Where are we getting Acorn here? Should be Anzac. A-N-Z-A-C. Oh no, 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 no. It freaking flipped right before that. Anzac is way out there. That's not it. That's 630 miles. It's not in the box for some reason. Alright, we're just going to leave it. I don't know why it's not in the box. Alright. We're semi-set up. Now we're descending down. We're trying to catch up to this. We're going to be a little bit tight, I'm thinking. Our first fix, solar at 13,000.
646, confirm me your fly, what to the fix?
Negative center, we're going to be unable to take that approach or find our, we're not able to pull that up in the database.
Okay, required vectors?
Yeah, we're going to require vectors for 16 left if that's okay with you. Thanks.
Okay, on April 646, please clear descent now, flight level, sorry, descent
Alright,
now.
so I got everything in there. I don't, it looks like it's in the right spot, just a different name. That's fine, we're going to let it be. So, last thoughts here before we get real busy.
Alright, down to
JSON thing, dude? Are you kidding me? Phoenix Galaxy brought it up. I totally agree. You want to charge 100. Here's the last wrap up. We've talked about sounds are a miss for me. The cockpit is good, but it's not. It just, I was a little let down at the lack of pop that the cockpit has. Everything else, the model is good. The textures are good. The way it flies is good generally, minus some of the crazy pitching for speed that we're going to get. I'm going to get a little speed brake action in here too because we just transitioned 310. But here's the thing. Premium product, almost $100, right? Almost $100. We have to, in order to get the proper nav data, you have to do some layout JSON generator thing to get proper nav data. Unacceptable. Shouldn't be a thing on day one of release. Let alone, you know, you've had the airplane in 2020, it worked fine. You bring it in 2024, you drop that. Why is that? Why hasn't that been tested and ironed out? The installer. We're using an installer from 2009. It's clunky. It's terrible. We need something like PMDG has or Phoenix has, and be honest with you. That is the standard. What Phoenix has, what PMDG has, I actually think, well, Phoenix only has one airplane, but what PMDG has is right up there with the standard. Same with Phoenix. You have an app or some type of program that you launch. It's got everything there. You can do liveries or whatnot, what have you. Nav database internally, whatever, not an issue. Okay, I'm not a fan of these old school installers. I lost my train of thought on the last. Oh, the community folder thing. Every airplane in 2024 downloads liveries to its own to the Microsoft 2024 community folder. This particular airplane puts it in its special community folder. You go back. You have to go up a level and go into the Microsoft 2024 community. I didn't even know that folder existed. But apparently, this airplane, that's where you put the liveries. I think that's interesting. I don't know why that is, why it can't be like every other aircraft in the SIP. Literally, it's the only airplane in the SIP to do that.
Japan 357 Heavy, turn left, flight direct Tango 6, Romeo 70.
Alright, left turn, direct to Tango 6. Was that Tango 6, Romeo 70?
Correct.
Alright, Tango 6, Romeo 70. He probably saw us like getting all jacked up here. Tango 6, Romeo 70, that's where we're going. Insert, no, direct. Down we go. So, with that said, we've got the JSON thing. We've got the installer that I think is a little outdated. And then I don't know why the community folder is in that particular order. Now, it's not a big deal. It's just you need to be aware of it. Because if you try to put liveries from the Flight Sim TO in your Flight Sim normal community folder, they won't show up. So it's the only way I bring it up. Because it will, you'll be like, I'm putting it in the community folder, but I don't see the livery. So they work, everything works fine. You just have to know to put it there. So that's my little, it's not even a rant, just like it just seems like an outdated way of doing things. But with all that said, do I still think the airplane is worth the price? I do. I enjoy the MD-11. I think it's a great airplane. I've flown TFDi products since the P3D days, and this is the version that I really, was kind of hoping we had in the initial release in 2020. But where are we still off here? Let's go ahead. Let's just go idle clamp to 13,000 because we are getting all out of sorts here. I found the nav data update really easy via the Navigraph hub, but it won't do it unless you do the JSON thing, right? We let Navigraph know about the changes many months ago, but they only push updates when the update is public. It is unfortunate, but it's their policy. Oh, so it's a Navigraph thing? Okay. Interesting. So will it be updated in the future, or do we still have to do the JSON thing first, or is that going to be an issue in the future? Maybe it's just a one-time thing. Oh, they updated their hub yesterday. It works now. Excellent. Okay, good. So we can take that off the we can take that off the checkbox of little irritances. So. Yeah, overall, I mean, I've been enjoying my time. I really have. I've been flying it on my home PC for the last 2 nights, kind of checking her out.
Japan 606, clear turn left, fly heading 065.
Who's he talking to? Oh, us. Alright, let's go ahead and slow this sucker down, because,
Triple 646, descend 6,000 feet, Kenneth 1009er, turn left heading 300.
alright, we're back on it, going down.
Alright, left turn 300 down to 6,000, 98646.
The installer worked really well for you, the nav data updated the installer hub and delivery install fine. Well, but good for you, man. I mean, it didn't not work for me. I just think it's like, why are we still have to, you know, I feel like when you're going to have a bunch of different little things, especially the extended app, which is cool, have it all in one place. Have it all in one place. Why doesn't Microsoft have cloud shadows on the ground? That is a great question. It does, doesn't it? Like right there, aren't those shadows? That's shadows of the clouds on the water, right? Yeah, it has shadows. Do you think we're gonna bore sound pack for the MD-11? Fred, I'll tell you what. If we had a bore sound pack for the MD-11, I would not stop flying this airplane. It just goes back to where, like what I said about the Rotate MD-80, you know. Now I haven't flown the latest version with the new sound. I haven't had time to get that set up. That's another airplane. Rotate, or excuse me, not the Rotate. I keep saying Rotate. Leonardo and TFDi. You can definitely tell they have their roots in P3D and FSX because everything is done the same way it was done in 2009. It's not modern. Not that necessarily it's a bad thing. It's just it's a telltale sign. But the Leonardo MD-80 default sounds, at least the old default sounds, I did not want to fly that airplane at all. Not enjoyable. With the immersive audio sound pack, I flew that airplane so much you guys got tired of seeing it on stream. So if Boris did an MD-11 sound pack, I would be hard pressed to fly anything else because I do enjoy this airplane. I enjoy that we have a little bit of a manager on the extended sim, which I think it's very reasonably priced. If you want to buy the extended, it's $7 or $8, whatever. And there are a lot of things simulated in the aircraft. There really are. I'm not going to say things are right or wrong. I'm only basing when it comes to the FMC here on what I've seen in the Rotate versus this one. I've noticed there's some inconsistencies in a couple different parts of the FMC flight plan. I think I just have to get used to this particular aircraft. I ran into something. I was messing with something in here, and I'm like, I can't do that. But then in the Rotate, it takes it. I don't know. But again, like I said, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I flew the Rotate so much, I feel like I try to do everything the exact same, and then I get some errors. But for the most part, the box works good. I've actually done a couple of holds already. Holds work fine. I've done some arrivals, some RNAV arrivals. They work fine. With nothing to do since the ground of the MD-11 for my work, I've just been flying the TFDi MD-11 on the same route since the first day out of the fields because they needed pilots to fly vaccines. Really? That's wild, man. Is it me or the cockpit texture is a bit mid? It's not just you, pilot guy. We had that discussion. That's the only spot in the airplane
Triple 646, descend and maintain 4,500
where
feet.
They don't
Turn
pop.
left heading 260.
It just seems kind of muted in here, you know? That's the only difference. But I was struggling with that because I see
down to
other people flying the airplane. I'm like, well, maybe it's
again,
YouTube. YouTube is a real hard.
Left heading 260.
For the most part, YouTube is pretty hard, especially on live stream, to see. Oh, if it looks like this on a live stream, is this what it looks like on my PC? It's not always true. You've got compression. Sometimes they don't. Depending if you have a different resolution monitor, like if you have 4K and someone is streaming in 1080p, it's not going to look as good. So it's always watching streams is not the best way So I thought maybe that was part of it, and then I loaded in, you know, 2K, all booted up, and it still felt kind of muted. But I think it has more to do, like we said, I think it has more to do with the colors or something, because they all kind of blend in. There's no real, but when you zoom in here, I mean, look, there's some pretty incredible detail. This kind of looks a little bit dated here, this rubbery
People, 646, clear descent 4,000 feet. Can
as
it
you move
1009?
along, I mean,
And 4,000, 1009, 646.
you know,
Japan 357 heavy, descend 7,000 feet, can it 1009er, direct to Spine, Sierra Papa India November Echo.
all right, descend 7,000 feet, direct to Spine for Japan Air 357. All right.
Japan 606 heavy,
Direct
left heading
to-
040.
What do you say? What do you say? What fix was it?
Tokyo Control, best cargo 212, request descent, slowly descend to 4,500 feet.
4,500 feet.
Stretch itis. I'm not sure. Is there a way to check? Stretched itis. Is there a way to check that? I thought he said spine. I don't see spine.
500 feet. Best cargo 212, thank you.
I don't have a spine. I could have swore he said
Direct
spine.
everyone heavy, descend flight level 150.
Looking on this
Turn left
approach
flight,
that's on
direct
here.
as Spine, Sierra Papa India November Echo.
I don't have that fix. What if I type it in? What the heck is that? I don't see spine on there. I don't see spine. I don't just want to type it in. What if I put it here just to see if it pops up in the box? Nope.
Nipo 646, turn left heading 190.
No, I didn't do the JSON fix, man.
ILS approach 16 left, descend 3,000
I didn't do the
feet
JSON
for
fix.
down.
I'm not a
Report
developer.
coverage on
Oh,
final.
shoot, we're doing way fast, chat. 250.
All right, descend 3,000. Can you give me the heading again for 646?
190, intercept the localizer, ILS approach 116 left.
All right, down 3,000, 190, intercept 16 left localizer.
And approach for Japan 357 Heavy. We're not looking up spine. Can we get a vector for that? Or we've got the other fixes on the arrival, but we're just not seeing spine.
Japan 357 Heavy, turn left, direct to Sanji, Sierra Alpha November, Delta Yankee, 4,500 feet.
All right, direct Sandy, 4,500 Japan Air 357 Heavy. Thank you. I know I saw that in there. Where you at? Where you at, Sandy? Where you at, Sandy? Aero nurse. All right, I know it's in here. It's on the approach. All right, direct to Sandy. Gosh, there's gotta be an easier way to do that in there. Alright, Sandy. Laban.
Center INA 646, we're established.
April 646, wind 240 degrees, 12 knots, clear to land on the 16 left.
Left cleared landing.
Altitude 4,500. My goodness. Got busy fast. Down we go. Let's redirect it to Sandy. Well, let's get flight recorder ready. No, I didn't do a JSON fix. I've seen that question 50 times. I didn't know you had to do a JSON fix to update nav data. But I guess they already fixed that, right? That was a fix that they came out with. All right, recorder is ready. We're finally slowing down. What's our takeoff approach? What's our VREF speed going to be here? So we're looking at 35,157. We're going down to 4,500. Auto brakes medium. I don't know if you guys saw me set that. We need to reset this to flaps 10, I believe.
Japan 606, clear descend and maintain 6,000 feet. Can 81009 again.
We should have 111.95. Navrad. Well, it's not. 111.95. Do we have the wrong approach? There we go. There's 111.95. Of course. 157.
Japan 357 heavy after Sandy. Clear ILS 16 left approach. Can 81009 report coverage on final.
16 left. All right, after Sandy cleared ILS 16 left approach, we'll report established on final for Japan Air 357 heavy. There we go, 16 left. Now we're back. Look at that. All right, slowing down. All right, we're getting there. Slats extension, here it comes. Nada. I'm really wondering where Spine is, because I don't even, I'm still, I know I gotta let it go, but I'm still, oh, is it on the left one?
646, yeah, we're going past the terminal.
Yeah, it was on the different transition, so I selected the wrong runway transition. That's what it is. I had 16 right, I don't have Spine on 16
Charlie
right.
and Mike 2, only get your choice, terminal 2.
Where are we going to go when we get there?
All right, Charlie 7, Mike 2, gate of our choice.
So we're landing 16.
Japan 606 heavy, turn left heading 290.
Which terminal do we go to, chat? Which terminal do we go to? Let's go to terminal 2. And I'll tell you what, we're going to get off 16 left. Let's go to gate 69.
Japan 606 clear descend and maintain 4,500
Easy to
feet.
remember. We'll go to gate 69. Right on the pier of terminal 2. All right, auto brakes medium. We're set up to await. What's our ref speed again? 157? Man. Yeah, 157. All right, we're looking good. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. A lot of work there for a minute. It was good. What did I miss? I've been on a meeting since before takeoff. Nothing, man. We did, we've had a pretty good flight so far. We actually got ATC online in Tokyo, which is pretty dang cool. ATC in Tokyo. And we got a bunch of historical birds. We had a 727. I saw another MD-11. We got a 7.4 Classic behind us. So I got a little rattled there. We had to do an arrival change and an approach change twice in the box. So, but overall, Pretty good flight so far, my man. Pretty good flight. But like, see, right now, I feel like I'm kind of sitting up here by myself with the way the sounds are. They just seem a little quiet. They're just a little. We'll have to do the maintenance check after we land. I kind of want to see what that looks like. We'll do the maintenance check after we land. Tune in Tokyo. What's up, AJ?
FedEx 71, check your squawk, please. 5277.
All right, so coming around the corner, shaded 4500. Max is 185k knots, so we got to go ahead and let's go ahead and select 180. Let's get our cam up, ready to rock and roll. Flaps 10. Alright, Sandy inbound, platform altitude, we got a mandatory 4,000 around the corner there at Lycos. Sandy's at 4,500. So inbound from Sandy, we drop down to 4 and then we'll arm the approach. This is default scenery, and this is Tokyo, Japan. Look at that. We got to come in here at nighttime, man. So what I think we're going to do for our semi-long haul next week, guys, we'll take another break from the sim. We'll be on Iveo. So if you want to get your Iveo stuff installed and fly along, I think it'd be really fun. We're going to go from Tokyo to Kai-Tak in the MD-11. We're going to try not to crash it on the MD-11 in the Kai-Tak. So that'll be the plan. I've got to I go back to training tomorrow for 5 days. So what's tomorrow? Friday? So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So either Wednesday or Thursday of next week, be on the lookout for a mini long haul to Kai-Tak
Thank you.
In the Jaybird. Alright, Sandy inbound. 4,000 is set.
Alright, over to you, come. Thank you very much for your ATC today.
See, look at that pitch. Maybe that's realistic, but I mean, going 4,000 feet a minute for a 500-foot loss there seems pretty aggressive. I don't know if that's
Stabilizer motion.
supposed to be that way or not.
7606, reduce your speed, 210 knots. 210 knots or lower.
Got 474. I love it. Alright, I'm going to try not to, David. Yeah, Kai-Tak will be a challenge, man. Kai-Tak will be a real big challenge. Alright, let's go ahead and get the recording on. Lena Zane's got flaps 10, 20 miles out. Love it. Love the Felis. I gotta take this into some bumpy air. I want to see what the wing flex is like. Seems pretty sturdy right now. I have to go fly through some weather here later on. Your down vodka, wind on final is brutal. You got a winds report down there? Got a pilot put it in for vodka, so it's not optimal. Alright, 4,000 feet until Lori. Actually, until Lycos. 3-degree slope on the way in. We are 111.95, 157 is tuned. Half the procedures are on the GNS XLS. Well, I don't know why you're flying GNS, man. Get rid of that nonsense. I don't like that we don't have the no glide slope. It's kind of sussy. Alright, there we go. Microsoft being Microsoft. DH is actually That's 200. We should set a barrow of 219, though, is what we should
Japan
have.
606 Heavy, descend 4,000 feet.
Alright, loc armed, landing armed. Wow, it's hazy this morning. Man, I feel like we should have done this approach at night. Got approach Japan Air 357 Heavy, established 16 left.
Japan 357 Heavy, wind 240 degrees 13 knot, clear to land runway 16 left.
Little land runway 16 left, Japan Air 357 Heavy. Alright, we're clear to land.
Deck 71 Heavy, descend and maintain 4,500 feet, Canadian 1009er.
Forgot those. Alright, glide slope is capped. Get my thrust levers up where they want to be.
Japan 606 Heavy, turn left heading
Go right altitude is 4,000,
185, cleared ILS
Captain,
approach
thanks for $5
16
super chat, man. I
left,
missed
intercept
it there, dude. My
localizer.
goodness. So does PMG hit the 73 of the Dome ballpark based on the sim? Captain McGee, based on the sim, dude, PMDG is pretty dang spot on, man, based on what I've been experiencing in the sim. Yep. Thanks for the $5 super chat, man. Sorry it took a while for me to get to that. Alright, let's go ahead and go gear down.
Japan 606, turn a little more left, heading 170 to intercept localizer. 170.
Flaps 28. Flaps 35.
Deck 71 Heavy, after Sandy, clear complete ILS approach 16 left.
All the
Canadian
calls come off.
1009, report established on finals, number 3 to land.
500.
Alright, landing checklist. Still got my Airbus checklist memorized. So, one thing that I noticed
Tokyo Center, good.
Yes, yeah.
Review Oceanic
is
West
the amount of weight
489.
required to actually move the yoke compared to what
498,
you're used to with just
hello again.
spring-loaded yokes.
Stand by to clearing.
And even with some of my force feedback profiles. So Vodka, I had put him to work last night. I said, hey, can you adjust the 72 profile that we have, make it like 25% heavier? And it feels really good. Vodka, I would, if you're done, man, you could, if you want to post the Bruner profile, this works pretty dang good with the MD-11, man. It feels really
Roger,
good.
stand by, please.
All right, we're clear to land. 16 left. Recording is on. Gear is down. Speed brakes. I need to bind a button for that. Ah! No! Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my gosh. Speed brake armed.
Japan 606, maintain minimal speed approach. Number 2 to land, wind 240 degrees 9 knots.
474.
Continue approach.
Good morning, distinguished viewers. What's up, 3 Greens? Good to see you, buddy. How's it been? How you been, man? 157 is right on the end there. We got an 11 knot crosswind. Not too loving. Man, this approach at sunrise would be epic. We should have done a sunrise approach. Are we sure? 157? I don't. Give me a few extra knots, Chief. Let's go 159.
Oceanic Air 498 ready to come.
Highway to Cop, Senator West 498.
1,000.
A little bit high, correcting.
498 clear to destination CGNE R4 for level 300, takeoff under 16 left.
Why is my rail yard not entering?
Hard for
I've got auto FPS on. It's probably
flight
lower
mission
in
5,000
the,
feet. Squawk 0204.
got to with this airplane, man.
Authorized first land,
Alright, I gotta test to see if my auto thrust is okay. Good. I did have it down. I
Squad.
have the thrust levers.
Glide slope.
Check.
2204
And
through
we're fine.
Oceanic Airways 498.
Glide slope.
Squawk 0204.
How are we full scale
ready for
deflection?
pushback.
2 whites. We're actually a little bit high.
Roger.
That's interesting.
Minimum. Minimum.
Landing.
100. 50. 40. 30.
Don't get the power out yet.
10.
That was firm. Deployed. Reversers. Full. That's full reverse. A firm. You see how the sound like never even changed? Manual brakes. But now we'll go to idle. Sounds are kind of killing it for me if I'm being honest. Alright, let's go ahead and exit up here. Soulless.
Japan
indeed.
357 heavy on ground to 13, vacate via right, Charlie 6, taxi via Charlie 5 and a Charlie, confirm your cargo April.
Negative, we're going to gate 69, Terminal 2 for Japan Air 357 Heavy.
Japan 357, roger, Terminal 2 approved, via taxi via Charlie, and Echo 8 on the gate, your discretion.
Charlie Echo 8 to gate 69, thank you so much for the ATC tonight, Japan 357 Heavy.
Japan 606 Heavy, wind 230 degrees, 12 knots, clear to land, 116 left.
Oop, there, I see the stutter there on the right. Look at that nose wheel. Alright, we'll clean it up here once we get straight.
West 498,
Man, I
ready to
think
push
it's
back
popping
and engine
today.
start.
Alright, let's
498,
go ahead and
push back,
stow
start
that. Flaps
approved.
are coming up.
Push back up,
MD-11 levers, stretch. These are actually the Blackbird Control 727 throttle levers. I'm just using them for the MD-11. And then these are two, this is an MD-11 spoiler and flap lever that I got a long time ago from Etsy, and I don't recommend that package because it was actually not very good. Which is, you know, hence why I'm also using the Blackbird levers. They weren't very good, man. Alright, lights are off, high intensity nits are off, after landing is complete. Let me stop the recording. And we're going Charlie Echo 8 into gate 69, which will be up here. Oh, we just missed the 7-4 landing, dang it. Look at that. I love having 7-4 followers, and that is so cool. Nice job. Very common to skid the nose wheel.
On ground 14, recount to Tokyo International Airport. Vacate to be right.
I mentioned that.
We are Charlie 4.
This guy down a little bit now, as we're pretty much done with him. I mentioned that earlier on the taxi. I was like, I don't know how the real MD-11 is, but I feel like it would be very easy. And they have that simulated. If you crank that nose wheel and you add thrust, you're going too fast, the airplane just kind of plows straight ahead as you're skidding that nose wheel. So it's I think it's a pretty good simulation on that. I like the way it feels on the ground. It hand flies nice. It feels good on the ground. But overall, it's a good package, man. I need more oomph in the sounds. I would like more optimization. More optimization. What are my frames on the ground? Frames on the ground right now, 34 FPS. We're on the ground in Tokyo, 34 FPS. I do have auto FPS on. So that is one of the heaviest performing airplanes that I fly in the sim. But other than that, just a couple little cleanup things. I'm glad they got the JSON file thing fixed. I'll be able to update a Navigraph hub now, so that's cool. Overall, a good package. If we could get an enhancement to the sounds and just give us the options, like give us sliders. If people want if this is more realistic at being super quiet and comfortable, then give us some sliders in the EFB where we can enhance that. This is gate 68, but it works by me. Oh, look at that. I've noticed MD-11 requires a lot of thrust for taxiing. Yeah, you gotta be careful. It's not necessarily thrust. You want to make sure you do need thrust to move, but if your nose wheel is cockeyed, let's see I'll skid it right there. Well, I'm going slow enough. But if you have a little bit too much speed and you turn that nose wheel all the way over, you're not going to taxi very well. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on your ground speed here. What the sim does pretty well, to my surprise, is the bigger the airplane, the harder it is to realize how fast you're actually going on the ground. And you'll think, oh, I'm only going 10 knots. Why can't I make this turn? And then you look down at your ground speed and you're doing, 34 knots. So keep an eye on that ground speed on the ND. And just take the turns real slow and easy. I don't know if this is actually an MD-11 gate. We'll just go up here and erp it. What time is it? 1:17. Perfect. I got to meet the missus right now. We'll just erp it right here. Erp. Brakes are set. We'll shut her down. 3 greens. Thanks for the 7 Aussie man tonight on gardening and USA V1 planes. The MD-11. That reminds me of this A340 Santos to Bont. My name is 3 greens. Welcome to Check. Yes. Oh, the good old days. Thank you, 3 greens. Appreciate you, man. Hope you're flying safe, buddy. Thank you for the support. All right, let's go ahead and get this into replay mode. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from Iveo. That was awesome. That was the most traffic we had on Iveo in a long time. And a controller. Look at that. 7-4 going to bring your flaps up. Probably so stressed doing all the after landing stuff, forgot the flaps down. That was really fun. Love that. Pretty good. This is default airport here. Pretty good. Oh, look, there's the American. What is that, 777 out there? Oh, wow, dude, that guy's getting ready to go a long way away. All right. Let's end this. Reset. Elena says the flaps are up. Don't know why it doesn't show. Uh-huh. Sure. Oh, I want to do the... Yeah, we'll close this. Get rid of that. All right. Disconnect. If your if the controller is in the chat, thank you for logging in. That was really cool, man. All right. Ooh, foot per minute, 363 at 1G. So I don't know how that makes sense, but 363. I'll tell you what. I can tell you without watching the replay, it felt like it was a 163 or 363. So let's see how this airplane handles in replay mode. We're gonna let everything load in here. I'll get the flaps back out. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna reset the time of day because I want to see what this would have looked like in at dawn. Oh my, chat, we missed the beat on this one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We need to do a long haul from LA to Tokyo and land at this time. My goodness. That is the juice right there. Can I get the wing lights on? Let's do that. Boom, boom. Hey, we can do lights. Let me check my phone. Where's Miss V1? She hasn't texted me yet, so that's interesting. Where are you at? Alright.
1,000.
Here we go. Let's see how you can see the lights past 20 miles. I know, this is where we need to blend in X-Plane 12 and Microsoft. You see how far you can see the lights? That's amazing. That's beautiful. It looks very realistic. But then when we get to the airport, it's not as optimum. Like, you see how kind of bulby everything is? Just a little blown out. We need to reduce the brightness of these runway lights by about 20% maybe 15%. Get started.
400.
Yeah, if we could combine X-Plane airport lighting and Microsoft city lighting, we'd have the best lighting options available. They even have those like, what are those, like the sea anchors, the tripod things, the brake wall. So cool. Alright, let's see how our landing was here. 13 knot crosswind. Oh, that wasn't terrible. I'm just not feeling on the sound, to be honest with you. It's so close. It's almost frustrating. I like it. It's just, imagine having I don't know, imagine a Bore sound pack right there. That would be, I wouldn't stop flying it. Maybe I'm putting too much weight into sounds. I don't know. It's just my personal preference. I like, I want to go to outside view and have to turn my volume down immediately because it's just so loud and blaring, you know. Keep it zoomed in on the stab trim. Oh, let's take a look at the stab trim, then I gotta go, AJ.
20.
I don't know if the stab trim is actually moving, AJ.
300.
In replay, I don't believe the stab trim is actually moving at all.
Approaching minimum.
In replay. Can I move it?
200.
Yeah, see, it's not moving. That's me moving the trim. So you'd have to watch the actual replay.
Minimum. 100.
Yeah, it does make you work hard, for sure.
50. 40. 30. 20.
That's why I love it, man.
10.
I mean, I've went back to X-Plane 12 because I wanted to fly this particular airplane because of the challenge it presents when you take it out, especially when you take it in. Get a last minute runway change in a network. All right, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go have a coffee date with Mrs. V1. So I'm back to the sim tomorrow. We didn't even get to talk about my sim training. This whole day got kind of out of whack when the internet went down. But I will be in touch with y'all. There'll be another Hilo video coming out this weekend. So I know you guys enjoyed Duke 6, so there'll be another one coming out maybe tomorrow or Saturday. It's already uploaded. But thank you all for tuning in for a little MD-11 stream. Shout out to TFDi for making some great improvements to the airplane. There's some really good improvements to this. This is the TFDi I always wanted. I think we need a sound enhancement, and we need to take a look at the pitching on the pitching for speed. I mean, it didn't really happen on this flight, but if you fly the MD-11 long enough, you know what I mean. It'll throw you 10 degrees nose low in a second. I'm like, what are we doing here? But I do like it. It's a great airplane. We're definitely going to fly up more. Long haul next week, Wednesday or Thursday, Tokyo Narita to Kai Tech on Iveo. So if you want to get that loaded up, we'll fly that together. Until then, I'm going back to the Sweatbox 737 simulator. I will be sure to show you guys some little snippets of training here pretty soon. I've got some little shorts videos and stuff. But you all are awesome. Thank you for the support. Thank you for hitting the like button. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. I'll see you on the next one. See you.